subject of Rabbi Schmuley, who's become one of the most controversial commentators on Israel's war, also came up in my conversation with Ben.
I am dressed up as a Candace Owens Jew. Now, this is not a Christian child, it's a Jewish child. But if it would be, I got my Christian blood. Spicy, delicious. I got my Jewish nose. I have filth, because Jews are all filth. And more than anything else, what does 80 have? Money!
I mean, what is your reaction to that clip?
My first reaction is, how is that guy a rabbi? How are Jews allowing such a disgusting character to represent them in any capacity? Thankfully, Ben Shapiro distanced himself from the actions of Rabbi Schmuley, calling it disgusting.
I mean, the phrase in Hebrew is that's what we would call a chilul Hashem, right? It's a desecration of God's name. And that sort of behavior is disgusting in any context. Frankly, I don't know an Orthodox Jew who feels differently about that.
And Ben Shapiro is right. Rabbi Schmuley is a walking red flag of disgusting behavior. He embodies a rot that is certainly revulsive and repulsive at the same time. This is the same rabbi who videoed himself grinding his ass on the laps of his grandchild and dancing in a sexually suggestive manner before his grandkids. There's very little redeeming value in this so-called rabbi, and that says a lot.
Well, after seeing the exchange with Ben Shapiro, Rabbi Schmuley got in touch and said he'd like to reply. Here's what he said.
To paraphrase the great Winston Churchill when it comes to Ben Shapiro, never in the annals of Jewish history has one so small been guilty of a sin so egregious over a complaint so petty. Ben, you're complaining about a Purim, like a Halloween costume. You employed and raked in millions of dollars off a host who highlighted that Jews drink Christian blood, that the Israeli Defense Forces are guilty of genocide. Someone who praised Kanye West, who loves Hitler, who killed 10,000 of your people every single day. You didn't create the Daily Wire. You created the Daily Liar, a sewer of racism, that George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose, not because he couldn't breathe with a cop's knee on his neck, and misogyny, that Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, has male genitalia. Are you guys not embarrassed? It's disgusting. But above all else, that Jews are killers. We killed Michael Jackson. We run sex pedophile rings. Ben, this stuff is rancid. It's gross, and you should be ashamed.
On the other hand, I agree with almost everything Rabbi Schmuley said about Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro employed and platformed Candace Owens with her very problematic behaviors and views. She was Ben Shapiro's attack dog, and he never had any issues with her vitriol until she turned that same attitude for which she was employed on Jews. Now, suddenly Ben is offended? No, Ben. The way you make your bed, so you lay on it. Ben made millions off Candace saying bigoted things about other groups for years. Her reaction to the death of George Floyd was utterly disgusting and without empathy. Her defense of known pimp Andrew Tate and her endorsement of Kanye West were all ignored by Ben Shapiro. Now, the chicken has come home to roost. Candace has been at the forefront of pushing insane conspiracy theories like Emmanuel Macron's wife is a man.
So the quote-unquote conspiracy theory is actually a 3-year thorough investigation that was conducted by journalists that were working with genealogists. It was published in 6 issues in Faits et Documents. I'm sorry, my French is not that good, but they published 6 issues unpacking what they had discovered after a 3-year investigation. And here is what they are saying. Their theory is that the First Lady, Brigitte Macron, was actually born Jean-Michel. So Bridget is actually John Michael. John Michael lived as a man for 30 years, fathered 5 children, okay, and then transitioned at the age of 30 to become Brigitte.
What the hell? Even if Macron's wife is a man, how is that any of Candace's business? But that is the Daily Wire's stock in trade, to make money off divisive rhetoric. This exchange might be as close a case of mutually assured destruction as is possible in reality. And I find very little to disagree with both men's assessment of each other. Their major failing, though, is a lack of self-awareness in trying to remove the log in the other's eye while ignoring that firmly lodged in theirs. One comment I found online captured the interaction perfectly. It said, "In my view, Ben Shapiro and Rabbi Schmuley both represented themselves poorly. It was interesting to see them both be honest about each other and highlighting the shortcomings of each party."